Alright, into Golden Pack, and I think this is the first arena run I've uploaded, not counting bonus clips, that's from the new update. And Arena is suffering a little bit at the moment because a lot of people are clearly playing ranked instead. But we're going for something that isn't particularly good, and therefore maybe that's to our benefit in this particular situation. So what I want to do is try and get Secretary Bird to give permanent buffs in the shop. Now you can quite easily do that in custom packs. You know, if you have Mantis, you can kill 2 pets at the same time every turn if you want to. You can also just pill something, or pill 2 things, or have Mantis kill 1 and pill another. You've got options, but in Golden Pack itself, your only option is Manatee. Having said that, I think you can do this in hard mode as well. If you get Paper Shredder, I guess you could run a 4 squad and buy 2 units per turn and deliberately feint them. So maybe if I ever finally play hard mode, I'll try that out. But for now, we're going to try and get 2 manatees and then synchronize their feints so that they both happen at the same time. So I take the flycatcher here and fortunately face a lizard opponent straight away. And I'm freezing the stoat because one of the ways you can achieve this is by selling stoats on once tier 4 is unlocked, and then potentially get a 1/1 manatee straight away. But the other way you can do it obviously is just by saving the manatee, so you can just find 2 manatees in the shop, keep them frozen, and then put them both in at the same time. But I kind of also want to put banana on both of them in order to give myself a better chance, and I'll end up with the double monkey when they both faint. So for now we're just going to take Secretary Bird and then keep looking for the manatee. And here's another person playing Flycatcher kind of out of position, not right at the back like most people play it. And they have Slug at the back there, so the Flycatcher does its job. And I'm kind of gambling everything on the stoats here, but we will take the avocado to give ourselves more rolls next turn in the shop and try and find the manatee. This person had a lot of eggplants already, and I don't think it's going to matter though. The Secretary Bird getting healed by the Silk Moth is pretty rare. So we'll sell the tier 1s and hopefully get 2 1/1 manatees here, but unfortunately we don't get either of them. So we're just going to keep looking, and I think maybe I do take the 2 baboons here because they're guaranteed to buff the Secretary Bird, and that's probably the only thing that's going to stay on the team. So maybe I'm going to take the... Well, there's another stoat there, so we can go for another stoat sell. To be honest, that doesn't really make any sense because doing that would mean that I would instantly have a 1/1 manatee and it would die straight away, which doesn't make any sense because I need them both to die at the same time. And actually they would leech buffs from the baboon as well. So we're going to get destroyed here. That's fair enough. We expect that to happen. But thankfully we've made it this far with a decent number of lives. There's a banana. And we're going to keep rolling for more bananas. But of course we are going to take the Secretary Bird level up when it presents itself. Slug as well I think is kind of an obvious take. And there the slug does take one of the buffs away from the Secretary Bird. But that's fine because we really want a decent sized slug at the front anyway. This team, I think we get a little bit lucky there with the spread of the buffs from the fire ants. I think if that had been different, we would have lost there. So we bring a slug in now, and then I need another manatee before I can bring the other one in, and there we go. So we'll get the 2 manatees, buff the Secretary Bird, and then the larger slug. And next turn I can put the bananas on them both, because we don't need to put the bananas on until they're both down to the lowest health. Now there is a slight drawback with putting the banana on them. Obviously you could just have the manatee with no banana at all, and the Secretary Bird would then buff whatever was in front of the manatee. However, because of the way this is arranged now, the Secretary Bird would end up buffing the monkey. And I'm not entirely sure why it happens. I assume it's just because of the attack. if the secretary bird had lower attack than the manatee, I think it would be okay. But because the secretary bird has already been scaled up, we would end up buffing a monkey. So when the time comes, we will actually have to rearrange the squad a bit and run it kind of suboptimally for at least one turn to try and get the buffs onto something that we actually care about. So we end up winning here, which is a little bit fortunate, I think, given that the team was kind of a mess. But we'll take the level on the slug here, and I get German Shepherd. So that works out. Couldn't have worked out much better. So now we can position in such a way that the German Shepherd will get the permanent buffs from the secretary bird, and we also get a chocolate in the same turn, so that we're going to get the +6/6 permanent buffs. Which, I mean, if you were able to do that all the time from secretary bird, I think Golden Pack would be a whole lot stronger. But we're going to get the 6/6 onto the German Shepherd now. It's still not going to be super strong because you'll see in the battle, it's level 1, 16 attack. It's not going to give a whole lot of attack to the slug. And this person already has the level 2 Cobra. Only a small amount of attack given to the slug, and we're going to comfortably lose to this team. They're using manatee with crane, a little bit more sensible. And I think here I'm just going to look for more slugs and then chocolate. So we get the chocolate for the monkey, and then we'll bring in another slug. We really need more than one summon unit to work with both German Shepherd and secretary bird. But +5 is pretty poor, although it does scale during the battle because of the secretary buffs. Assuming we don't get hit by eggplant, it's still a relatively low amount of attack. Although it can still matter, of course. Opposing teams are generally weaker if you're just playing against Golden Pack only. There was a while when I was only playing against all packs, and so a lot of the opposing teams were much larger. But we do quickly get the level 2 German Shepherd, and so we're rapidly trending towards having basically the optimized team for this. I think probably another slug instead of the monkey once I've had my fill of permanent buffs on the front slug. And we should be fine here. Yep. The German Shepherd is just going to be big enough in the end to take care of the last 2 units. That would have been a tie if they'd had another tomato, I guess. And we'll also take the pita bread. And I think I should just I was about to combine this slug. I think I should just keep it in order to replace the monkey. And there's not really a whole lot else to do at this point. Now this is kind of scary because Grizzly Bear could do a lot of damage here. It really just depends what the Grizzly snipes, and actually the lizard there hangs on with 1 HP to get the crane activation, which was kind of unfortunate. However, the Grizzly Bear ends up sniping the worst possible units. The monkey and the slug, that was basically ideal, I think. So we got away with one there. And again, I'm about to combine the slugs, but I think I just realize I should bring another one in, and then we'll give pita to the secretary bird for a little bit of tomato protection. And this team is huge. I mean, look at they've got level 3 Bird of Paradise, and they're working on another one. However, this is basically the perfect type of opponent. They've got no disruption at all. They're only generating gold with the Egyptian Vulture, and so the German Shepherd is going to have free reign to just buff the slugs with no interference at all and carve its way through the huge wall of stats. So we'll take another tomato. Kind of nice to have the triple slug all with the same equipment. And the next team is incredibly weak in comparison to the previous one. They're, I like to see people playing units like Macaque, but they're just not going to have the stats to survive the onslaught of slugs. So kind of a predictable final build on this one, but I was just happy to actually get a win having had the double manatee feint.